Hello, welcome Impact Community to Impact Coaching Minis. I'm Coach Selena. I'm here to invite you to take a break from your busy, hectic whirlwind of a week and step into a mini coaching session with me. Take a few moments from your busy schedule to recenter, realign, and get the bigger picture of where you're going so that you can have harmony with your faith, your family, and your career. And today in our mini coaching session, I would like to talk to you about one of the tools that we use here at Impact Coaching to aid and assist our clients along their journey toward harmony and having an impact in their community. And that is the Enneagram. I especially want to dig in to the usefulness of the Enneagram and some of the arguments that people have against using the Enneagram, and kind of tell you our position on that and how we find the Enneagram to be helpful. So a few weeks ago, I had a client of mine send me one of those arguments against the Enneagram. And she has seen lots of success using it, learned a lot about herself and about her faith journey through using the Enneagram. And she's like, Selena, what do you think about this? Help me to process and understand. And it was a wonderful opportunity for me to be able to put into words what the usefulness of the Enneagram is and how it really is such a wonderful coaching tool and a wonderful faith formation tool. Because here at Impact Coaching, we really believe, and clients are attracted to us that see faith and values and strong systems as foundational to their goals work and how they decide to show up in the world and why they even want to make an impact in their community and on those around them. So let's dig into this a little bit. First of all, I want you to understand that no one knows the true source of the Enneagram, where it came from, or exactly how old it is, or how it turned up, or who came up with it first. There are lots of origin stories and histories and threads and different ways that people have chosen to use the Enneagram in the past, some of which I don't agree with. But in the 1970s, the current iteration of how we Americans use the Enneagram came to be here in the States in the 1970s. And it was brought here by priests and spiritual leaders. And do you know what the purpose of them bringing here was? To enhance spiritual formation, faith growing, and getting people closer and closer to a really true and trusting relationship with the Lord, working on that process of sanctification, which we're, all of us believers are very interested in achieving. And it really, Ian Cron, a current Enneagram expert with a firm faith foundation, I love the way that he describes the true purpose of the Enneagram, and it is this: to reveal your shadow side and offer spiritual counsel on how to open it to the transformative light of grace. Isn't that beautiful? The Enneagram, more than anything else, any other tool out there that I have been able to find, is so helpful in showing us our shadow side. Another way that I like to describe it is the Enneagram really gets the closest to defining what is our God-shaped whole. I really believe that each of us has a part of us that only God can fill, nothing else. And we're human and we mess up and we try to fill that God-shaped hole with all kinds of other things. And the Enneagram has been the thing that I found that most closely identifies what are those ways that we try to fill that God-sized hole. And it's a mess when we do it. But gaining awareness around how we're trying to replace God in our lives through the Enneagram can be transformational in taking us further along on our spiritual journey. It will give us a better understanding of ourselves and of our God. So, a couple things that I'd like you to know about the Enneagram. One, the Enneagram is not perfect. It is a human construct, something created by humans in order to give us a better understanding of a spiritual realm. And so there's no way with our human language that we're going to be able to do that, and human understanding that we're going to be able to do that perfectly. So it is imperfect, but it does give us a better understanding of our God and a better understanding of ourselves and that shadow side, as I just described, that way that we try to create God for ourselves rather than letting God just be who God is. The point in the Enneagram is not to type people. You might kind of get that opinion if you just see it on social media, or you catch the hype and you're like, what's your type? And what are your numbers? And what are your wings? And thinking that the Enneagram can completely describe someone just by telling their type, or that you can use the Enneagram type as an identity or claim it and say, like, I'm a 3, I'm a 4, I'm a 9. Like that is going to describe your whole identity. And it's not. Your identity, first and foremost, is in Christ. And we honor and respect that. The Enneagram does not completely describe someone or who they are or what they stand for or what they believe. Your identity is in Christ. You are a beloved child of God, first and foremost. And the Enneagram can never type you more accurately than that. And another piece that I would give you as kind of a caution against the Enneagram is that some people have a tendency to turn the Enneagram into an idol. That it can tell them everything that they need to know and unlock all of these secrets. And I would argue back that almost anything can be turned into an idol. Actually, we humans try to turn a lot of things into idols, and the Enneagram should not be one of those. It is simply a tool in the toolkit that we use to help us grow in our faith, help us grow as people, and help us work on our goals and make a difference and make an impact in the world around us. So the Enneagram is a helpful tool, not an idol, not something that we just use no matter what. And I'd like to draw us to a couple of passages that feel really helpful for me. So as coaches, it's our job to show up and offer a multitude of tools to our clients to use. And whenever I'm first meeting with a client, I say, as a coach, my job is to provide the tools. And then together, with coach and client working together, we decide which tools are going to be the most beneficial and effective for you moving forward on your path and creating your vision for what you want your future to look like. And a couple of these Bible verses that I'm going to share with you help to unpack what that's like to look for tools that are useful in a coaching relationship and in making progress on your goals. The first one, both of these come from Paul. The first one is 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12. All things are lawful for me, but not all things are beneficial. All things are lawful for me, but not all things are beneficial. I find this such a helpful approach when thinking about goals and goal work and offering tools to my clients. We have the ability and the permission, if you will, to use whatever tools we have available to us. But will they be beneficial? That's not something that I can decide by myself, and it's usually not something that the client can decide by themselves. But in relationship together and with an open-handed willingness to explore relationship, we can determine, will the Enneagram be a helpful and beneficial tool to use as we move forward? Will it help you learn and grow and become more of the person that you are called to be? Here is a second helpful Bible verse, and this is from Romans chapter 14, verse 13. Romans 14:13. Therefore, let us not pass judgment on one another, but rather decide never to put a stumbling block or hindrance in the way of another. So we want to not pass judgment on what tools or what resources or what things are going to be helpful to each other in our growth and in our health and in our striving, but to not put stumbling blocks in front of each other. That is for sure something that we do in coaching whenever we're providing tools to our client. If one of the tools happens to be a stumbling block for that client, then we will simply choose another tool. There are so many options and resources available to us. And here at Impact, we have a wide variety. So we never want to use a tool that maybe I have found helpful, but will be a stumbling block for someone else. So especially in regards to Enneagram, I have had a handful of clients through the years that have determined that the Enneagram is not helpful for them. Okay, so we don't use it. We find other ways to help them learn more about themselves so that they can move forward in a healthy manner that is aligned with their most important faith and beliefs and values. As long as the Enneagram is mutually agreed as a beneficial tool for growing toward Christ, we will be more than happy to use it in a coaching relationship. But our faith and the needs of our clients always come first. Whenever we're looking at any of the tools and the services and the things that we provide, our client and the needs and their values and faith always come first. So when you're looking to work with Impact or work with a coach, that's what you want to know. Are you going to be able to provide me with the tools that I need to best grow and move forward to make an impact in the world? We believe strongly that the Enneagram is helpful with that, but we'll only use it if it is mutually beneficial for the client too. Now, if you are interested in the Enneagram and you have additional questions about it, definitely shoot us a message. Or drop them in the comments. We'd love to hear your questions about the Enneagram. If you have heard about the Enneagram, maybe even typed yourself, but you're not sure how to use it as a way toward health and growth, you're going to want to get our Enneagram assessment and coaching session. It's a great way to dig a little deeper and see just how the Enneagram can be a helpful tool, not just for typing yourself, not to put yourself in a box, but to really give you insight in how you can learn and grow and make a greater impact and have harmony with your faith, your family, and your career. Can't wait to hear from you and see about what questions you have about the Enneagram and how it might be helpful to you. Have a great week.